பேரலை நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். இப்போது நாம் டெல்லியிலிருந்து நேயர்களோடு உரையாடி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். Friends and viewers, welcome to NS24 of the Peralai media. We are now going to meet Mr. Vijoo of CPIM Delhi. He is the General Secretary of All India Kisan Sabha. Initially he was a professor. He finished his doctorate and he was working as a professor, but he dropped his job and joined the movement to work for the farmers. Even in his JNU days, he was the student union leader of SFI, and we welcome him on the stage to talk to us. Welcome, Comrade.
Thank you.
Continuously, when we are looking up to the speeches of Modi, whenever he speaks, he is pinpointing something to communists. When he was talking about redistribution of wealth, he says redistribution of wealth is a Marxist concept, not just Marxist concept. It's a Maoist concept. It's a threat to our nation. We have to get rid of those insurgencies. He's talking the terms like that. How do you see about the redistribution of wealth that is being part of every party who is in the India bloc, and Modi's response for that?
Actually, Narendra Modi and BJP, also the RSS, considers the communists as the biggest threat to their existence, because we are providing an ideological, political and organizational resistance to them across the country. So that is why even when we are in power only in Kerala, in one of his interviews he said, though it is only in Kerala, it is a very dangerous political party. That is what he said. Regarding the issue of redistribution of wealth, we have been very clear that the concentration of land and wealth which is there in few hands, that has to end and it has to be redistributed so that there is more equitable distribution of wealth. That is something which we have always stood by, and from the very beginning, from in 1957 when the first government was formed in Kerala under the leadership of Comrade EMS, within 4 days it came with the agrarian relations bill. The land reforms were brought about by the government. So that is something which we are committed to. That is something which we followed in the Bengal government after 1977, and also in Tripura we have followed that.
But don't you think it is a very tedious idea, and it is very difficult to convince the people who think themselves as urban elites or an upper middle class? Is that easy to convince them for the idea of land redistribution and against the accumulation of wealth? Is it easy, do you think?
No, I think a large section of people, whether they are urban or in the rural area, the middle class, among them, this idea is something which they are not against that idea. But the way you carry forward this, and what is the entire idea, the kind of fear that this Narendra Modi is trying to create now. That
he says that even they are going to take away the
Mangal Sutra and so on. That is trying to build a fear and create an atmosphere of fear among a wide section of people. But if you are able to explain the real manner in which we intend to go about this distribution of wealth, especially land redistribution, there is lots of area which is surplus land which is there, which is still lying undistributed in many parts of India. And also you find that there are ceiling acts which are there. Despite that, you find few people having thousands of acres of land. This is also not legally acceptable. And that is something, it is not communists who came up with the idea of land redistribution. If you look at all the democratic revolutions that have happened, there has been some redistribution, and that has been one of the issues which what you call about bourgeois revolutions, whether after French Revolution, also there has been a redistribution. It's not a communist idea, but yes, where after the revolution in Russia or in China, there has been much greater traction to this idea.
Okay. We can see a double strand of Modi in addressing the redistribution aspect. At one perspective, he is saying that the manifesto of Congress is Pakistan and the Muslim League manifesto. At some other point, he is saying that it is a Maoist manifesto. It can't be both. What is your view about that?
No, it is the last few days. What the Prime Minister is saying in the morning, in the evening he is telling something else. Now today, all of a sudden he is speaking about Adani, against Adani and Ambani. We all know in the last 10 years, it has been, we have been terming it as the Modani model of corporate loot, which he has promoted. And today he is now making this. So this kind of thing, whether it is by Pakistan, when we had the farmers' protest, he initially said it is Pakistani agents. He branded it as Khalistani protest. Also China agents. Different kind of narrative that he has tried to build. It has been to discredit the opposition. It has been to discredit any voice of dissent against them. So that has been the approach of the government.
Okay. So, when talking about the Congress manifesto, Narendra Modi says that it is a communist manifesto. Do you think the Congress manifesto is more communist or more socialist in its way?
No, that can never be, because we see the Congress as a ruling class party, and they have their own different policies that. But surely, given the lessons of the last 30 years of neoliberal economic policies, the distress that the farmers are facing, the poor are facing, the Congress also has been forced to rethink. In many aspects, we find in the 2004 to 2009, when the UPA 1 was there, many such acts which were brought, like the NREGA, the Rural Employment Guarantee Act, under the pressure of the left, the Forest Rights Act, these kind of acts which were brought. It is such a realization in the Congress is very important if at all they need to be re-elected again.
What is the role of communists in bringing up the MNREGA program?
No, in the whether it is the MNREGA or other issues of farmers, even the issue of the MSP at the rate of C2 plus 50. If you look at the ground level mobilizations of farmers, agriculture workers and workers, it is always the red flag which is in the forefront. You may not have seen the flags of any other parties that way. And the historic struggle of the farmers, if you see, for more than a year that went on, even there, while we had a wide issue-based unity, we were also in the forefront of that struggle. That put forward the issue of the MSP at the rate of C2 plus 50, a loan waiver for farmers. Similarly, before 2004, under the Vajpayee years, though Vajpayee claimed that India shining, that was their campaign, we had farmers' suicides, agrarian distress was high, big level of migration from rural areas. In those circumstances, we felt there is need to ensure at least 100 days of work, which would ensure that the migration would stop and there would be the some employment guarantee in the rural areas itself. Now, today, our demand is even further, that it should be at least 200 days of work and at least 600 rupees of wage per day, and indexing it to the inflation. That is something which we have demanded.
Okay. MSP is one of the long-standing demands. Though we have MSP for very few products, we need it for further more products of the agriculture producers. But when 2014, against the Congress and CPIM coalition, Modi was campaigning that we will bring the MSP to farmers. And he also said that he will double the income of the farmers. And now he is claiming that I have given an income of 6,000 per annum to the farmers. I have also doubled it. I have given more insurance to the farmers. I am also a son of farmer. He is claiming like that. Is it true? And as a General Secretary of All India Kisan Sabha, how is your view?
It is Modi's guarantees in the last 10 years are all lies. Nothing has been implemented. In more than 300 meetings, he made this promise of Swaminathan Commission recommendation of C2 plus 50.
He even gave Bharat Ratna to MS.
That is the hypocrisy, because what Professor Swaminathan recommended, he just went totally against the recommendation in the last 10 years.
How?
Because C2 plus 50 was promised, and very soon after coming to power, they said that this is only a election time slogan. It is for vote. We met the agriculture minister. He told, why are you, without any hesitation, why are you taking it so seriously? All parties are making promises. That is for votes. This cannot be implemented. I visited him at his residence.
Which means he said it is a Jumla.
It is a Jumla. And Amit Shah made that claim. And in the Supreme Court, they filed an affidavit telling it cannot be. Now they are claiming that they are giving 50% more than the cost of production. But they have shifted the goalpost. What they are using is the A2 plus FL formula. If you look at for most crops, if the I am just giving an example, if the C2 plus 50 would be something like 1000 rupees, the A2 plus FL plus 50 will be something like 600 rupees.
These two sounds very difficult to understand. What is the meaning of that formula?
Now, basically, A2 plus FL is all paid out costs of the farmers, including the family labor. But in this, the land rent is not included. Capital, whatever goods and on repairs and so on, that is not included. If you look at all this is called the comprehensive cost of production. So that is much higher than A2 plus FL. So this is one. If you, in Tamil, there is a saying, Sini Sakkare Sittappa, Ezhthile Ezhdi Nakkappa. Modi's MSP is just like that. That it is all on paper, because in most states there is no procurement. For instance, in Bihar, in Jharkhand, if paddy's MSP is 2,183 per quintal, farmers are forced to sell at 800, 1000, maximum 1200. They are not getting this MSP, it's only on paper. That is the reality. Regarding insurance, 57,000 crores is the profit in 5 years, which big corporate insurance companies have got. And farmers are not getting this insurance to such an extent that even BJP ruled Gujarat, Modi's home state, and Madhya Pradesh, and about 7 major states have said we don't want the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, the PMFBY. That is one thing. Regarding loan waiver, nothing has been done. Electricity is being privatized. The charges are increasing. Costs of production is further increasing. This is the situation in reality, and doubling of farmers' income, which he said, by 2022, the promise was that a farmer's average income, farming family, would be 2,71,000. But according to the government's own report, it is less than 1,26,000. So not even 50% of what was promised has been achieved.
We know that you have organized protests at Maharashtra and also at Delhi when the nationwide farmers' protests were happening. But even after the farmers' protest, BJP is winning seats even at the farmers' constituencies. How is that happening, and how is it going to be reversed in 2024?
So if you look at the 2009 scenario, just before the 2009 Lok Sabha elections, the elections held in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, in all these 3 states where farmers' protests were at the peak, the BJP was defeated. But it was in the background of the Pulwama and Balakot incidents. And also, if you know, just before the elections, there was the announcement of the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, and the first installment was sent to the farmers' accounts. All these factors had led to a situation where BJP could come back to power. There is a significant qualitative difference now. In the 2020, more than a year the struggle went on, and the government dealt with the farmers like they are dealing with enemy soldiers. We have seen how recently Iran used drones to attack Israel, Ukraine used drones to attack Russia and so on. But in India, the elected government was using drones to attack the farmers. So this is something which is etched in the minds of the farmers. The spikes that they have put on the streets, the big trenches dug on the streets to stop farmers from, and 738 farmers have died during this struggle, including 5 who were mowed down by a BJP cabinet minister's son in Lakhimpur Kheri. So this is something which is very much fresh in the minds of farmers, and the Samyukta Kisan Morcha and also the joint platform of trade unions have taken a systematic campaign across the country. We have gone village to village, house to house, exposing the BJP. We have had press conferences in different states calling for punishing the BJP in the elections. So that is going to bring about a big change in this election.
Okay. But when we cut through that, we can see the Pulwama attack had made a huge change in the voting pattern. So can we take that the Pulwama is really matters to the farmers, or the farmer issues? This is question number one. And another one, if something like Pulwama happens again, will the voting pattern be the same as 2019?
No, actually, you see, after many revelations, including by the then governor of Jammu and Kashmir, there are a lot of questions raised about the Pulwama incident itself. And even now, the inquiry has not been able to pin down actually what led to these issues. The approach of the Prime Minister and also the Ajit Doval at that time, both which has been exposed by the governor, this is now very clear in the minds of the people. So it is despite one is such an incident should not happen. We are not wanting or that is something not at all there on the anvil. But the farmers are very clear this time that they cannot be misled by any emotive issues. Because why I am saying that, if you look at the struggle itself, you had farmers coming from rural areas. You had some of their family members who are also soldiers. Many soldiers gave up their medals in support of the farmers. And now in Punjab, Haryana, and many other states, the BJP candidates are not even able to enter into villages because farmers are showing black flags, raising questions, and protesting with the thing that you didn't allow us to come to Delhi to raise our demands. We don't want you to come. So this is something which never happened before. At least I have been involved with political activity almost 3 decades. I have never seen this kind of a response by a farming community. I think that will have an impact. And we have also been able to build a never before kind of unity between the working class and the farmers. That is also an important factor. I think whatever efforts to raise emotive issues, to divide on Hindu-Muslim lines, nothing is going to help the BJP this time.
4 sectors he is focusing. One is the poor, second is the farmer. These two we have addressed. Another 2 are youth and Nari Shakti. That are the other big claims by Modi ji. About the Nari Shakti, he claims that he is the one who gave Ujjwala Yojana and he delivered cylinders home to home. He is claiming that he himself delivered home to home. What is your take on that?
Actually, you see, Nari Shakti, there are 2 issues. In 2014, one of his slogans was, "Bahut ho gaya mahila par atyachar, ab ki baar Modi Sarkar." That means women are being attacked. A lot of attacks on women, so a change is required, you vote for Modi. That was his claim. But in the last 10 years, so many instances of gang rapes, attacks on women, killing of women. You have the case of Katua, where a young girl was gang raped and killed. In Hathras, a Dalit girl was killed. And those who are raising voices against that are jailed. Bilkis Bano's case, in which all the culprits were freed on Independence Day, and they were felicitated by the BJP and Sangh Parivar. That is the nature as far as attacks on our wrestlers, women wrestlers, the way they were attacked, we all know. And the slogan is, another slogan is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. That is, educate children, save girls, and also educate girls. In that also, the dismal status of education and the government educational institutions is one. Coming to Ujjwala scheme. Ujjwala scheme, nowadays people are using the cylinders as chairs. And because they have gone back to firewood, the cost of the cylinders, which were 400 rupees or below, now is 1200. And when election come, I go often to Rajasthan. In Rajasthan assembly election, Narendra Modi's guarantee is that if BJP is elected, then gas cylinder would be given at 450 rupees. So he is considering that he thinks people are fools. They will listen to this propaganda and vote again and again to them. Once, yes, people were fooled. Twice, they used the Pulwama and Balakot incident to spread a campaign and win again using the corporate media. But this time, they are in for a big shock in this election.
Regarding Nari Shakti, he never talks about the employment of young women and the employment of the educated women. Why is it so?
See, he never spoke about employment of women or youth after 2014. In 2014, he promised 2 crore jobs every year. Later, when youth started asking for jobs, he said, you can make pakodas, that is also employment. He went on, when there were protests, then the Agnivir scheme was brought, which is a contract system in our armed forces. And after 4 years, what would these youth do? Then the claim is that they can be watchmen in BJP offices. These kind of claims openly the BJP leaders are making. So youth should have got, according to his promise, 20 crore jobs in 10 years. But now the highest unemployment in last 50 years, and that is the situation that we are having. In the last 10 years, more than a lakh educated youth, people with degrees, not like Modi's degree, real degree which they have hard earned degrees, they have committed suicide because of not having jobs. Our farmers are committing suicide. In the last 10 years, more than 4,25,000 farmers, agriculture workers and daily wage workers have committed suicide. This is the official figures. The real figures are much more. That is the situation which we are having in the entire history of humankind. Nowhere, not just in India, nowhere in the world you will have such a situation.
But whenever we raise these issues regarding Nari Shakti, regarding youth Shakti, regarding farmer Shakti, regarding poor Shakti, whatever the Shakti we were talking about, he says that it is all the political issues raised by Tukde gangs, red flag gangs. These red flag gangs and Tukde gangs are being guided by Rahul Gandhi. What is the view about that?
No, this kind of claim, Tukde gang means someone, groups which divide. Actually, from the time of the British rule, first the Britishers used the divide and rule policy. And 1925 or so, the RSS was formed. From then, their policy has been to divide and rule. And actually, the term Tukde gang fits for Modi and Amit Shah and the Sangh. That they are the people who are trying to divide India on religious and other lines. So it is only expected from them that they will try to portray the opposition as being divisive, but their entire narrative over the last 10 years has been against the unity of our country, against the integrity of our country.
Around the nation, there are two types of liberal views that we can see. One is why the Communist Party is going with Congress, one another Borghese Party. Why we are going that? The communists have to be standing alone. They have to criticize whatever the government forms. They have to be in the ground whatever the government forms. This is one point of view. At another point of view, there are some views that why the Communist Party is aligning in all the states with India Alliance, but not just in Kerala. Why they are doing that? Why there is a double stand with these communists? These communists are attacking with the two tongues. There are many views from the liberal point of views. What is your take?
Communists are very clear that the danger today is with this government coming back to power. Our democracy, our constitution, and the very idea of India that our freedom fighters envisage, that is going to be destroyed if they come to power. Neither the farmers nor the agriculture workers, the working class, or students or youth or women are going to get any of their rights. That we are very clear. In that situation, we have planned a strategy according to which we can isolate and defeat the BJP and the communal forces. They represent the forces of corporate loot and also communal divide. So we have accordingly planned. And in this regard, the strategy that we have used in Kerala, you see, Kerala, come what may, the BJP is not going to get a single seat. And we are very clear that we want to have an alternative secular government. So irrespective of our fight against the Congress there, when it comes to the national situation, we are very clear that we will keep out the BJP.
Okay. But in West Bengal, there was a communist rule for 34 years. But after that, we can see a sudden break in that, and the communists dropped to single digit votes. How this happened and what happened there? because now the BJP is aiming to get around 40% of votes and about 30 to 40% of seats there. What is your view on that? How is the fight going in the ground there?
See, there, if you look at how the entire trajectory against the left there, you had all anti-left forces coming together, from Trinamool to the right wing, the BJP RSS, to the Jamaat-e Islami kind of groups, and also the Congress, all came together. It is in such circumstances that they could capitalize also on some lapses on the part of the government, and they could make a big campaign with the corporate media aiding it, and that has led to a decline of the left. But surely, if you look at the from 2011 onwards till now, on all people's issues, it is only the left which has been raising. Whether it is the attack on farmers and workers, attack on whether the corruption, lot of corruption charges, and we all know how the Trinamool has given the foothold to the BJP there. They have both worked in tandem at one time, and even now there is this talk about BJP gaining more seats, but we have been putting up a spirited campaign across the state against the BJP as well as the Trinamool, and I think the elections will throw up very surprising results.
Finally, I want to ask one more question. I made you to stand a long time. One last question to ask. We can see the hate speeches of Modi around the nation, around the states. Anywhere he goes, he is lying. We can simply say that. But the people are saying that the journalists cannot take a stand. But when he is against the facts, it is against the facts. Do you think it is going to rest with the 2024 general election, or are the hate speeches that Modi is making is going to create a much more impact even after the general election?
It's a very important question. I am actually presently writing an article on this very question. And if you look at the development of the Nazi Germany, you have a similar kind of propaganda and hate that was there. A large section, intellectuals, writers, and all who also kept silent.
Can we explain any one example or any one field that the Nazi government and the Modi government are same plate?
No, in terms of propaganda itself, the entire corporate media is not only corporate media, even the state media. Recently, I spoke on the All India Radio and Doordarshan. And in both these, when we are supposed to put our politics across, it was very clearly, there was censoring. You cannot use the word corrupt BJP. You cannot use the term communal. You cannot use the term authoritarian. We did use synonyms and got across this entire thing. But this is the state media. But even the corporate media is entirely working in favor. It is in such circumstances today, a difference that we are having is that there is media like you, youngsters like you, people who are exposing the wrongs, ills of the BJP government. But this hate campaign that has been carried out, primarily against the minorities, has been carried out. But it's not just against minorities. It is against all dissenters. It is against farmers. It is against students. It is against universities like JNU. Filmmakers are making films like Kerala Story, the Kashmir Files, and writers like Madhu Kishwar are justifying, for instance, the Katua rape case. She has written a book saying it is she was not raped at all. It was a victim of. She was a sacrificial victim of Islamist groups or something like that. So you have this kind of normalizing which is happening of hatred which is there. We have seen from 2014 how rationalists have been killed, how writers and journalists, we had M.M. Kalburgi, Govind Pansare, Dabolkar, Gauri Lankesh all being killed. But how much did it generate, how much news did it generate in the national media, whether it is the government? And not only that, the Prime Minister has not spoken against the attacks in the name of Goraksha. It is a shame that the Prime Minister has not felt the need to condemn it. the attacks that are going on, and this hatred which they have for minorities or dissenters is not there for rapists or people like Brijbhushan or Prajwal Revanna or the rapists of Bilkis Bano. They are being felicitated. So this is something, this is being normalized, and that is very dangerous. The syllabus are being changed, the history is being rewritten, so it requires a detoxification. If whichever alternative government comes, that political will is required. If at all we have to once again um, get back India from whatever depths it has been pushed into now.
Exactly like he said, we will never let someone normalizing hate, someone normalizing the rapes, someone normalizing the crimes against the minorities and against the OBCs and against the SCs and STs. This is going to be a long fight, and we will be together in that. Thank you for the long interview that you have given to me. Thank you.